everybody. Thank you for pressing play. I wanted to put together a video or a representation for PCOS because it is PCOS Awareness Month. September is PCOS Awareness Month. It was a hard decision for me to actually put it on video, put it on social media to actually talk about it, but overall I really wanted to probably help someone else or open someone else's eyes or something like that. So I want to talk about a little bit about the products that I use and some of the resources that I use to help me with PCOS. PCOS for me is kind of emotional a lot of times, so have to control those emotions. I can probably cry at a drop of a hat or something. So it was really hard for me to try to make a decision to put it out here and actually talk about it. But at the same time, overall, what I really want to do is probably help somebody else just with the little information or the resources or the research that I use. I do want to say that all the information or the resources I use is something that I had took time to read and gather myself because I want to be my own subject matter expert on my condition. But therefore, I am not a doctor. You do have to go to a doctor and everything to get a proper diagnosis. So, and another thing, I want to try to do this in 2 or 3 part videos, hopefully maybe 3, because I know I don't like long videos, so I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible. And another thing, any products that I endorse or that I am showing you, I do not get paid to endorse at all. But however, my bank account is open. If one of these companies or people or anything or that I talk about, they want to pay me, I'm open to that. I endorse your product all day, every other week or something like that. But again, the gist of this is just to help somebody else. I probably won't be talking about the products in the first video. So, however, what PCOS is polycystic ovary syndrome. PCOS is a hormonal disorder. You do require a medical diagnosis. So, excuse me, it is a long list of symptoms, but I have read that it is 28 different symptoms or known symptoms, or it could be more because it's all attached to hormones. But the common ones is abnormal menstruation cycles, acne, but which I have a dog acne. Women are known to be barren or can't have children. Weight gain, or it's hard to lose weight. Hirsutism is just hairiness, being hairy, I guess. It's also known for the cysts on your ovaries. A lot of times they're not harmful at all, but they do pass with your menstrual. So, well, God bless you. That's my son. God bless him. Bless you. So the thing is, I have a list that I have made, like new symptoms or things that I have noticed over the past year or 2. So of course, with the weight gain, I've noticed that since probably like my senior year in high school. But of course, it's harder to lose weight. So it is hard. You do have to work like 10 times. So forgive me when I get to the exercise portion. A lot of times when people talk about, this is what you need to do, I kind of block them out because no one understands you literally have to work 10 times harder. Of course, the hairiness. I have a dog acne. I never had it when I was a teenager. I've had hair loss. I've times where I cut all my hair off and it grows back. Tiredness. I know the last week I had truly some fatigue. I was really tired, so it was probably something I ate too much. Or the week before when I went to Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, bro. Brittle nails, anxiety, irritability, inflammation. I know the past year I went to the doctor. They said I had carpal tunnel, some aches and pains. I have red estrogen spots. I've noticed that for a few years now. Skin discoloration. I probably had that since I was in middle school. But cysts. Sometimes you can't sleep. You have trouble sleeping. Skin tags. A lot of brain fog. A lot of times I can't remember anything. Dry scalp, or sore scalp. So those are some things that I wrote down. Only reason to go back and look at it, probably one day take it to a doctor, but I want to be able to feel better, and because there's a need for me, and I require for myself. Like I said, I want to be my own subject matter expert to be healthy and feel better about my body, because a lot of times I don't, I mean, just as women, I heard someone say we're our own worst critics. So PCOS is treatable. However, if not treated, can lead to other serious health complications. You heard me read through a list of some issues, but it can lead to other complications, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease. Women with PCOS have a higher risk of cancer too, as well. So, yeah, that's a main reason to get that situated there. I've had a hormonal disorder since I was probably in elementary. I always was told that, like when I went to a doctor. As I got older, I noticed my symptoms got worse. So, they got worse. So it was harder to deal with. I didn't know what it was until about, I want to say I was officially diagnosed in 2006. But in 2004, like I said, a lot of children have a hard time having kids. I had a child, but I didn't know I had PCOS at the same time. So some of the things that before I was officially diagnosed, I was on birth control. And what they did it to regulate my periods, and I hated it because I was probably on 3 or 4 different types of birth control. Oh, the birth control can help you lose weight. Oh, the birth control will help you with your skin, and probably all of them got recalled. But it was the worst because my weight went up and down because of that. And getting into, I remember in senior high school playing basketball. I'm playing basketball. Usually that was time when I, toned up or everything. It was harder for me to lose that weight. And it was, a problem for me. It was an issue for me. So, but I really don't definitely recommend women just getting on birth control unless you actually want to control, the birth. So when I was diagnosed, I actually had to leave work early one day, and I went to my doctor. Actually, my doctor wasn't able to, my doctor had a practice where she practiced with her husband and their best friend was St. John he was 9 Mile and 94 in St. Clair. 9 Mile and 10 Mile. Now, I-94, if you're from Michigan, and 10 Mile is a great clinic. So, what her husband had told me, he was a doctor, he was like, oh, he looked dead in my face and was like, it looks like you have metformin. You have PCOS. And I was like, what is that? He was like, okay, this is what I want you to do. Because I had to come back to see my doctor, which was his wife. Go home, look up PCOS and metformin. So that's what I did. When I seen all the symptoms, I was like, oh my God, this is what I have. Because I'm like, all the symptoms, I'm talking about a laundry list of them, that I knew that I had it. So when I went back, the doctor started me up with 500 milligrams once per day. But then once I transitioned, I'm from Michigan, I moved to Texas, and I seen a doctor. She said, 3 times per day for 500 milligrams. So that was, it was easy. I like being on metformin. But usually metformin is given to people that are diabetics. But the other thing that I researched and found with metformin is known to actually give you a vitamin D deficiency. So I had to take vitamin D pills. I think I took vitamin D 2,000 IUs. I think it was. And it also weakens your immune system as well. So finding all that out, it was like, wow, So, excuse me, I look for alternatives as well. So we'll get to the alternatives in the next video. But when I also got here, I took something for hirsutism, or just hairiness. I'm a hairy. So I was put on spironolactone. I think that's how you pronounce that. But The thing with being on that, you can't get pregnant. The doctor strictly said you cannot get pregnant. I wasn't trying to. Like it's easy on China. And I also found out that it is a steroid. So I didn't want to be on a steroid, you know, at all. So, yeah. So that was just the beginning for me. That was just a little bit of my story. So as soon as I started being to realize and start being a subject matter expert for myself and do some research, I began to discover different things, different people, other people that have it, you know, different resources, different groups, different support groups. And I will definitely share that with you in my next video. So to wrap things up, I am doing this video from home. You have to use what you have, what you got, in order to get to where you want to go. So I'm just using my little office space area, and you can see the pictures of my grandparents back here. So come here, Lauren. I want to thank my son. We gotta get together. My son, for helping me in this video. Thank you so much. Thank you guys, and you women, you men, everybody for watching and everything. Well, until next time, go to video 2. And you know, we'll talk about the next thing. Have a good day.